Most societal versions of improvement operate on a very predictable track. You work toward a 5% annual raise, aim for a slightly better job title, or try to wake up 30 minutes earlier. These are linear, recognizable changes. This approach has a built-in ceiling. Linear progress guarantees that your future self will look and act almost exactly like your present self, just with a few rough edges sanded down. Unrecognizable success requires the opposite of that slow climb. It demands a total rupture, a trajectory so steep it breaks the standard grid. This exponential jump is built on a strict constraint. Every action must be compressed into a tight window, ending in 2026. You cannot achieve this level of growth through standard motivational tactics. New Year's resolutions and hustle culture burn out long before the curve reaches its peak. Reaching an unrecognizable state by 2026 is an engineering problem. It requires a structural blueprint that dictates your actions, rather than relying on the inconsistency of willpower. To understand the blueprint, look at how a mega project begins. Before the first steel beam is placed, the site must be completely cleared. This means a systematic dismantling of your current reality. You have to identify and remove the specific habits, low-value social obligations, and outdated assumptions that currently hold your identity in place. This is friction elimination. These tension lines are invisible drags, cluttered workflows, decision fatigue, and stagnant relationships. Severing them drops your daily resistance, leaving you in a neutral, malleable state. This empty grid is the only environment to build velocity for an exponential jump. You cannot build a high-velocity future on the foundation of a low-velocity past. The first step of the blueprint is making sure nothing of your old recognizable self remains to weigh you down. Once the site is clear, you move to the framework. This is the stage where you stop working harder and start installing leverage. These three streams represent interlocking technical skills, automated workflows, and capital. When these funnel into a central multiplier, your output is no longer tied to your manual hours. You're using systems to do the heavy lifting. Execution is the daily process of following this schematic. It involves laying specific, metric-driven bricks every morning, regardless of how you feel about the project. The 2026 deadline acts as a forcing function. Because the timeline is so compressed, it automatically strips away passive planning and forces you to prioritize only the most aggressive building actions. This is the difference between a goal and a blueprint. A goal relies on emotional motivation, which is volatile. A blueprint relies on compliance to a schedule. By divorcing your emotions from your daily actions, you make progress a matter of physics. You lay the bricks today because the schematic demands them. Now we look at the results of the completed project. It is 2026, and every phase of the blueprint has been executed. Look at the difference in scale. By eliminating the friction of manual tasks and replacing them with the automated leverage systems we built, your output has scaled. You are no longer managing a local career. You are overseeing a globalized system of assets and skills. Arriving at this state feels less like a lucky break and more like the quiet completion of a scheduled renovation. The shock belongs to those watching from the outside. For you, it was just the next step in the plan. When you follow rigid engineering principles, you remove the influence of luck. The final structure appears because the math and the effort were aligned from the start. Unrecognizable success is the mathematically predictable consequence of trading hope for a blueprint.